Just this show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's titoclock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
What's happening? Why am I not showing up on my screen? Why am I not showing up? Okay, I can't see myself on screen. What's up, everybody? Okay. It's all black, X. Oh. Well, there you go.
There.
Hey, everybody. I was going to say, that's me, James, but I couldn't see myself. What's up, folks? Hey, Mayan, June, Mark Ortega. That looks like either Japanese or Korean name. I can't read it from here. Kenneth Ko, RC Estrado, Elmer Capuno, Chris Williams, Hola, Bong Sti, Marius David, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, Bikini. I know the name. That's a cool name, Bikini. Yan. What else we got? Who else we got there? Angel, Desena, and a whole bunch of others. Miaken Zarate, June Tupas, JC Policarpio. Hey. Okay, Jonathan Serrano. Let's welcome everybody. How about that? We can't go through everybody's name, but Myla's there. We know her, and we just want to welcome you to the show. It's titoclock. You know the drill. Basically, it's going to be rinse and repeat. Because why fix something that ain't broke, right? Everybody loves the headlines. Everybody loves Free Plug Friday. Everybody loves the inbox, and of course, everybody loves the raffle, right? Because we got a killer raffle for you today. Big Boys Toy Store. Every hardware store is like the Big Boys Toy Store, and it doesn't get any better than True Value. And they're celebrating their red, white, and true sales. See what they did there? That's a pun. To celebrate, I guess, July 4 and the independence and all that kind of jazz. But here's the kicker. 20 grand's worth, 20,000 pesos. Can you imagine the stuff that you can get in True Value if you win that? But we're going to divide it among 4 people, so that's 5K each. But still, stick with us later in the show. We're going to be doing the live draw of that. Here are the actual cards, just so you can see. True Value gift card, that's 1K. And there's 5 of them there to give away to one lucky person. So, all legit, all above board. We got these over here, and you know what these are, right? These are Rocket's treats, so Rocket can draw them out later on. We got Rocket. Rocket, you want to say hello? You want to do an early hello here? Just, hi, everybody. There he is. He's getting ready, sharpening his paws for the live draw. He's been working out, trying to aim for that button. Okay, so what's been happening? Well, lots been happening, but I think before we tell you what's happening, or I catch up with whatever I've been doing in the over in Paris and stuff like that, let's all get on the same page and find out what's happening in the big wide world that we live in. And for that, we need Cris. Cris, that'll be good news, Cris.
Hola, Tito James. Happy Friday, my fellow Tito Clockers. This is Cris, and here is your Tito Clock News. Department of Health Officer in charge Maria Rosario Vergeres said today that she wants COVID-19 vaccination sites in schools, in workplaces, places of worship, and public markets to boost the government's COVID prevention program. Vergeres, who was designated last month as head of the National Vaccination Operations Center, said that putting vaccination sites in schools will encourage children and parents to get the jab. The DOH-OIC said her top 3 priorities were the Philippines' COVID-19 vaccination, pandemic response, and the release of healthcare workers' benefits. Vergeres said funds for health workers' benefits have been downloaded to the DOH Centers for Health Development and are waiting for hospitals to comply with requirements. Vergeres announced that she would continue with the DOH's achievements, especially during this time of the pandemic, and that she has been inclusive, consulting all sectors and her colleague. Vergeres added she would like to be remembered to have been able to protect the population by moving forward and doing all of these responses we have to the pandemic. The Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, informed motorists today to take alternate routes as some roads in Metro Manila will be repaired over the weekend. DPWH advisory said that the weekend road repairs will cover parts of EDSA, the C5 road, and some roads in Quezon City starting at 11 p.m. tonight, July 15. The affected road sections will be reopened to traffic by 5 a.m. on Monday, July 18th. DPWH NCR Director Nomer Calas said the repairs will cover the following road segments of EDSA's northbound and southbound lane. Along Santolan MRT Station bus lane, after P. Tuason flyover to Aurora Tunnel, after Aurora Boulevard to New York Street, after Kamaning Road and Camias Road to Jackliner Bus Station, EDSA southbound lane from the Balingasa Creek to the Oliveros Footbridge in Quezon City. Other repair works include the second lane of C5 southbound in Makati, Quirino Highway before Manila North Diversion Road flyover, Cloverleaf going to NLEX northbound, and Cloverleaf going to NLEX southbound. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, reported that the number of newly registered voters is getting close to 1 million. COMELEC spokesperson attorney Rex Laudianco said there are 909,687 new registered voters as of July 12. More than half of them belong to the 15 to 17 age bracket, with a total of 571,740 voters. It is followed by the 289,206 new voters in the 18 to 30 years old bracket. Around 48,741 persons aged 31 and above also signed up as new voters. The COMELEC has processed over 1.2 million voter registration applications as of July 12, including those who wish to reactivate their voting record, transfer their area of voting locally, and transfer from an overseas voter to local. The poll body opened the voters' registration period on July 4th for the barangay and sanggunian ng kabataan elections slated for December. The registration period will only run until July 23. To register, go to the nearest local COMELEC office from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saudi Arabia announced today that it was lifting restrictions on all carriers using its airspace, an apparent gesture of openness towards Israel ahead of U.S. President Joe Biden's arrival. The U.S. leader welcomed the historic decision, the latest conciliatory move by Riyadh concerning the Jewish state. This decision is the result of the president's persistent and principled diplomacy with Saudi Arabia over many months, culminating in his visit today, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said. Prior to Biden's arrival in Israel at the start of his Middle East trip on Wednesday, Washington had hinted that more Arab nations could take steps to pursue relations with Israel. KSA did not show any opposition when the United Arab Emirates established diplomatic ties with Israel in 2020, followed by Bahrain and Morocco under the U.S. brokered Abraham Accords. Biden will travel to the Saudi city of Jeddah on the Red Sea coast Friday afternoon. He is to travel directly from the Jewish state to Saudi Arabia, becoming the first U.S. president to fly from there to an Arab nation that does not recognize it. Those were the latest in headlines, and now it's time to feel our love-hate relationship with Kamote Corner. Oh, yeah.
Is bago ba yan? Is that a new tantan? Or is it just me getting more sensitive?
I've been used
so
to the past couple of episodes.
You're about to be offended. You're about to be whatever. Okay, hit me. What we got here. I think that a week of kamotes, quite a lot. I posted.
I know some of the videos here you've already posted, so I think some have already seen it. So the first one, I call it bump sidecar.
Okay. I love this one.
Parang anyari. Feeling ko lasing si Kuya.
Bro, you're going straight. It's not complicated. Ay, nako. Kamote
Feeling
corner
ko
na.
talaga. Maybe it's too early and that he
Yeah.
just woke up and he had to run errands.
Hey, just shout out to Lifeline who are tuned in. Ava Lifeline 6911. Maybe this guy could keep that number handy as well, just in case, you know, he bumps into something else. He can call Lifeline as well for some help. But
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to Gomer and Candiza, and the rest of Ava Clinic there, Lifeline there. We got,
Hello,
you got
Ava.
a customer there, a new kamote customer.
Okay, the next one is from Bump Sidecar. We now have Road Sidewalk.
Happy birthday, Pam.
Happy
July
birthday,
3rd.
Pam Ann.
Oh, what's this? Bago to.
Ayan. So, wala na yung sidewalk. Road sidewalk.
Ginamit yung sidewalk for... Bakit?
Display.
Wait. May fence ba yan? I'm looking at
Yeah.
the fence, right? So,
There is a fence. Pero nasa may sides lang ng road.
fence
Hindi
yan,
sila
pero
sa...
nakaka-offense naman yan. Uy, where's the drum? Gudug.
Wait
Gudug.
lang. Ulit.
Come on, Chris.
Sorry.
Nakaka-offense naman yan. Ayun! Finally. Wait, I don't get this. Where is this? Huh? Okay, Buen Dia.
Buen dia. Yeah.
The MRT.
Mm-hmm. So,
It's hard.
ayun.
Is it because it's too narrow? Or-
No. I'm
What am I
thinking maybe they are commuters. They're looking for buses or they're waiting for buses.
Okay, they're walking on the outside of the barrier so that they get. Yeah, because they exit within the fence and then they take a fence. Then they're on the other side of the fence. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah. So it's the
I know.
commuter stuff. It's not because it's too narrow. It's because
No,
they're trying to get. Okay.
They're trying to
Alright.
get a ride. Ayan.
But
Anyway.
I hate to finger point in these situations because everyone's got something, everyone's got a responsibility. The commuters have a responsibility, but so does the government too,
True.
to give us a more efficient system. I mean, really, when you jump off an MRT station, you should be somewhere where you can hail safely, bus, cab, FX, whatever. But obviously we don't have that, but still doesn't make it right. But anyway, move on. For now.
Let's move on. Next up, I call this excuse you. Or pwede rin mag-excuse ka naman. I think you posted this also.
Oh, I know this one. Mag-merge si Kuya dito. Look at how he merges. And then, poop, he hits him in the back too. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. My God. What were you thinking, bro? What you thinking? Shout out. Happy birthday, Edward Boxielo.
Happy birthday. Daming may birthday.
Dami nga. Yeah. Watch it from the speed. Clarissa.
Hello, Clarissa.
How I regulate my blood pressure. I greet people in between so I calm down a little.
Ayan.
You need a proper sidewalk. She's right.
That's
That's one thing I noticed about like you just came back from Europe, and it's everything is kind of designed. It's pedestrian centric, put it that way.
Yes.
Cars are the least priority given those cities. In Paris,
True.
right now, as the mayor's trying to ban cars 100%. Of course,
Really?
and there's a
Wow.
lot of drama, of course, because it's a little drastic to go 100%. She's trying to do it because of the Olympics and take advantage of But the point I'm trying to make is whether even that's too extreme or not, and they might not be able to do that. Just having a place that is designed around pedestrians, moving people rather than cars, you're always going to have a better experience. If you design around cars, which we do here, you're always going to be catering to the most inefficient form of transport, and therefore you're going to get chaos like this. So you gotta incentivize through design.
True.
That's it.
Sana galingan na natin.
We have a new DOTR, and I met him yesterday, Jaime Bautista. It was pretty cool meeting the new DOTR chief, and we had a informal chat about a few things. And he's new, so he seems a little enthusiastic, and he seemed to be listening to man. But hopefully he has an open door policy, or at least an open line policy, where we can really talk to him about slowly improving these things, because our commuters talaga kawawa sobra.
And I'm one of them.
So am I at times. We all, And I would be a commuter more often if we
Yeah.
had a better experience. And that's what we're trying to
Mhm.
create here with Tito Clock, with the entire page, is to create a better transport experience for everybody. And that means we need to include, the more efficient forms of transport and the democratized ones, which is pedestrian, bus, etc. Sorry,
Amen.
your phone.
Inom muna.
Add
There we go.
Doritos. No.
Okay. Next na tayo. Here's another truck with no brakes. Or so I think. Let's see the image. I don't know. What do you think of this, Tito?
That is epic. I don't even know how that happened. It's so traffic. Oh,
Diba?
maybe because it's the traffic, right? And then baka nag-merge lang suddenly. That's the only way I can read it. It's nag-merge si Kuya trying to get to the other lane, the service road, and missed
And
it.
then he got stuck.
High Ace ba? Is that a High Ace? Parang High Ace. It's a van, passenger van. Yeah, that's my guess, best guess. But either way you look at it, tanga pa rin. Sorry.
Oo nga pa rin.
That's why
So
you need
true.
Malay insurance.
Diba?
Yeah,
Gandang
of course.
segue yan.
Sponsored by Malay Insurance, and always handy to have. Okay, go next.
Yes. All right, Tito James, last but not the least, wala na akong maisip na ibang caption kundi gaano kakapal ang mukha mo.
Okay, let's see it.
I
Oh,
actually finished the post. The comment section is more interesting though.
Bakit? What are some of the best ones there?
The first two actually sabi the one said ayaw pakabog sa kabilang house na malaki, the one next to it. Kaya nilakihan yung gate. And then the other one says sana sinagad na niya para walang makapas. Ay nako.
But this is shocking though. I mean, this is like the epitome of like one finger up at everybody else. No, it's not like
Yeah.
I won't do it, but you know what I mean. It's
Mhm,
literally giving one finger to everybody, going, "Wala akong pake." It's just
Yes.
that's so sad. Yeah,
Indeed.
Uh,
Ay nako. Anyway, that's all we have for today, Tito James. And once again, we've made it! All right, Tito. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. And advance congratulations to our raffle winners. And of course, advance happy birthday to my friend Yani de Dios and to my sister-in-law, Ate Cris. This has been Cris, reminding everyone to avoid kamote people, but always choose happiness with some Sugar Rush. With that, follow Sugar Rush Entertainment Philippines on social media for your party entertainment needs. And of course, follow me as well. It's scrolling down there. Remember to stay safe, healthy, and hydrated. Until the next one.
oh, what happened?
Kick her out yet.
Bye. Did you kick her out, X?
Nothing.
Why would you do that to Cris?
Just
Okay, she just cut out by okay, through no fault of our own. Okay, that you weren't cut off, Cris. We literally lost you, but we lost you right as you were saying goodbye. So not so bad at all. All right, that was Cris with the latest headlines, and you can see how you can get a hold of Cris over there. If you do want to get, let's say, you like her voice, like we do over here, you might want to pop her a message. She does like live hosting, especially kiddie parties. She does a really good job with that. Dresses up like a princess through Sugar Rush Entertainment. So there we go. We like to support the community because this is the whole foundation of Tito Clock. It was literally born as a community, just helping each other through a difficult time. And now that the pandemic is somewhat over, well, we just found common friends, so we kept it going. But it doesn't mean we stop the community-driven programs that we have here that just help each other get along. One of them has been Free Plug Friday, which is just a little initiative that we started back in the day when the pandemic first started, to just give a chance to people who don't necessarily have the budget to be able to advertise their new products and services. We've tried to put priority on people who have pivoted from, let's say, a regular job or any other business to be able to just survive through the pandemic. That's how we wanted to help them out. And it would really help if there's anything that you see there that you like, just pop them a message. Go to their Facebook and Instagram. X will always throw that down the bottom over there so that you have a way of contacting each of the people that we feature over here. We don't charge a single cent for it. We just hope that we're able to kickstart the local economy by spreading it around in smaller circles and creating this ripple effect. So with that, we need X to find out what's in the box. What you got in the box there, X?
Hi, DJs. We actually have a lot in store once again, but before we go there, I just want to say hi to all the titoclockers.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
What the heck? Welcome to another edition of Free Black Friday. Alright, face your eyes on the screen. What's going on here? Tita James, let's start Free Plug Friday with some hearty meals from FIFA Heart Snacks Go. So Tita James, FIFA Heart Snacks started back in 2020. Of course, and they offer home-cooked meals. And some of the items they sent are Fifth's pasta salad with homemade Italian dressing, Tito James, as you can see here. They also sent vegan lumpia with chimichurri dip and sriracha mayo dip. And last but not the least, the peri chicken.
Ah, is that what it was? A peri
It's a
chicken.
loaded peri chicken
Wow.
with turmeric rice. How did you find it, Tito James?
Well, I tried the vegan
Lumpia.
lumpia, and I'm about to try the peri chicken later on tonight. It's already in the oven.
Well, I actually love the vegan lumpia because, of course, you know I don't eat pork, and I love that it has two dips. You can choose between two dips, whichever fits your mood or personality. But
I
what
went for the chimichurri.
you do it for the chimichurri? Me too, and actually love that. Tomato sriracha was good, but chimichurri was just taking it up a notch. And I honestly love the roasted peri chicken, and because of the tasty juice, you have to try. It has red rice. It's on a bed of red
that's
rice.
what it was. I thought it was okay.
Yes.
All right.
And it actually had sauce, but then it goes well without sauce because, of course, the chicken is already well marinated, and the rice, my God, it was tasty on its own. It could be a meal on its own, actually.
Nice.
And there's actually a lot of rice considering the chicken, but you know the chicken is really well laid out. So I'd actually consider this for my future get-togethers with friends or even with family. Price starts at 150 pesos for every solo serving, but it usually comes in big tubs. So that's kind of like solo but sharing type of thing. And they also offer trays as well. And price varies depending on the food that you try. But hope you can check them out. FIFA Heart Snacks Go on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to Hungry Apron PH. So Hungry Apron PH offers flavorful and tender Hainanese chicken rice sets that come with condiments. That one that you were able to try, DJ's.
Yes. You see,
Sweet
that's why I
soy.
tried this one first. I had the Hainanese chicken rice, and it was divine.
Wow.
I really
Divine.
enjoyed it. It was so soft. The chicken was so soft.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I know that's the hallmark of a Hainan chicken rice, but when it's takeout and it's still that soft, they got my
and
thumbs up.
considering there are so much breast parts there, but then the
right. Normally, we're both on the brown meat because of the
same.
tenderness. This one was like it was super moist.
Yes, even the breast itself,
Yeah.
right? The breast part. Anyway, guys, it also comes together with condiments, just sweet soy, chili sauce, and ginger. And of course, one set could actually serve up to 5 people or more, depending on your appetite, because the rice is actually humongous on
Yes, it
this,
is.
right? So price is 1,100 pesos per set. So guys, you know where to go when you're craving for some tender and flavorful Hainanese chicken rice. Again, Hungry for PH on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to Matt's Waffles. So what started out as a father and son bonding during the pandemic eventually turned into home-based business. And DJ's the owner of Matt's Waffles actually cooks this to his kids because waffles are their favorite. So Matt's Waffles are homemade Belgian waffles made from fresh quality ingredients, and all you have to do to enjoy this straight from the freezer, Tito James, because you have to keep it in the freezer. Toast it for a maximum of 3 minutes, and its shelf life is already up to 3 months. So how cool is that? Hope you can try it, Tito James, because they're
Very
literally
cool.
sitting
If
in
it's
your
been
freezer.
in the freezer, it's very cool.
Yes! Your Tita jokes! They're overpouring again. Welcome back. Guys, price is 200 pesos for a pack of 6 pieces. So hope you guys can check them out and have it for breakfast, have it for brunch, or whatever. Sweet or savory, have it both ways. Again, Matt's Waffles on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to Original Swinging Sticks. So, Tita James, original swinging sticks are actually these unique kinetic sculpture motion items made by two German friends. How do you find Tita James?
I love them. I mean, they're mesmerizing.
Exactly. That's just the thing. And do you know that actually, speaking of mesmerizing, do you know that it actually got featured, guess where?
Where? In a swinging website?
You
No.
won't believe it.
No,
Tito,
come on.
I'm not
Iron
kidding.
Man? Are
Iron,
you kidding me now?
I am not.
Oh,
What do you call
come
that?
on.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, there you go.
It can be more clear, right?
Mhm.
And his wife / girlfriend, Peggy.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
that is
it
too
really
cool.
was part of the movie.
Okay, I didn't know that. Now, definitely front and center is going to be displayed.
We have to show it to the people
Yeah.
blockers for sure, like every time. And what's cool, it's kind of weird. It's battery operated, but I guess that needs to be battery operated for its mechanism to continue. So, guys, how cool is that? Again, it comes in different colors and even sizes as well. So, guys, price starts at 5,888 and can go higher depending on the size. Again, original swing sticks on Facebook, Instagram, Lazada, and Shopee. Last but not the least, Tita James, we have Good Taste macarons. So, Tita James, Good Taste macarons started back in 2020 that offers regular and custom hand-painted French macarons that come in 9 different flavors with very unique designs too. Funny because it just came from France, Tita James. Tita James. So, guys, this is actually a good gift idea. If you don't want to eat it yourself, it's a good gift idea for friends and even family. And look at these. Price starts at 130 pesos for a box of 3 regular macarons. Price starts at 165 pesos for a box of 3 customized macarons, while price starts at 360 pesos for a box of 6 pieces of these beautiful custom character macarons. Again, Good Taste macarons on Facebook and Instagram. Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of Free Black Friday. Stay safe and always sanitize with the clockers. This is X. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. Bye. Woo! Rocket, marshmallow. Marshall, rocket, there, marshmallow.
Well, that was Free Plug Friday with X, and that is our little community-driven project just to help kickstart their local economy. If you liked anything, please do order from them. But if you also want to join, perhaps you've got a small business yourself, and you also don't have budget to get the word out, just pop us a message. It's just over here. You can send us a message on IG at Deaconitis, and that way it'll get straight to X. X will be able to check it out and then put you into the schedule. Again, we like to prioritize those who have pivoted. So smaller businesses, people who are like without the means. If you have a bigger business or a medium size and you're doing okay, give the spot to others in the line because it does, it's just to help them out. So there you go. That is Free Plug Friday, and that wraps that all up. So thank you very much, X. Now it is a, whatchamacallit? Okay, we are moving over to our Ask Me Anything, brought to you by Motolife, pang matagala. Okay, Ask Me Anything. Here we go. Thank you, X. That's some question. Let us start with a question for James. So, good morning. So sobrang taas ng presyo ng petrol. Petrol, British. What EVs do you personally recommend na available dito sa Pilipinas? Yung medyo budget-friendly lang din po. May list po ba kayo? Thanks. I don't have a list, but I would be waiting for, personally, if you're going to ask me, I would be waiting for the Nissan. Nissan's coming up with a few products, I believe. They haven't confirmed, but I know they have something in the pipeline that's coming that's very, very, very well priced. When I say well priced, we're looking at somewhere around about the 1.5 mark, because there are already a lot of vehicles out there. The WM was 2.65 or something like that. That's a lot to pay for. It's no doubt we tried it. It does its job. It's a good car, but if we're being totally honest about it, it has no name recall yet here in the Philippines. So there's really a lot of branding it's got to catch up with. So the charge around 2.7 for that's a little high. So quick answer to your question, I would wait for what Nissan is bringing in later on this year, because we have a Republic Act 11697. See, remember that from yesterday. Because I hosted the launch of an EV charging station in Mega World. So very timely question, because the malls are starting to kick in, and you can see that that's the beginning of mass adoption. When the malls start seeing value of bringing it in, then you can see that there's a market that's growing, and this is going to be a mainstream market. So soon you're going to see, with the Republic Act coming in, being actually utilized, because it's already there, to incentivize electric vehicles in the country, you're going to see a surge. So my advice, just wait for a little while. Within a month or two, you're going to start seeing perhaps some new offerings from different brands. The one I'm excited about the most is the Nissan one. And so there you go. They already have the Leaf if you want to jump in straight away. And other than that, I just sit back, wait, and watch the space. Next! But he's right about the sobrang taas ng gas. Put in $500 today because it was really low.
Not you.
And that was just like, it just bought like, I don't know, a few kilometers. It was just sad. It was just really sad. And it's not at its all-time high yet, or what it was, right? We've had all-time highs. How did your meeting go with the new DOTR secretary? Well, no, it wasn't officially a meeting, but we did get the chat. So it went very well. I was able to spend more time than I thought, because he was hanging around with me backstage for a while, and I was able to chit chat about some of the programs that we did before with the DOTR that never quite finished and stuff like that. And he was receptive, but if you're being really honest, obviously it's the first time we meet. There's a different energy and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to give him some time to get his feet in the ground and to start sort of feeling out the space. But he did seem receptive, and I'd like to think he was very genuine. And he's a very highly regarded man. His days in PAL as the chairman or president of PAL. So I'm sure he knows the space, and I'm hoping and expecting good things from him. So there. Hope that answers your question. Next. Oh my God, yes, Samir. The news recently has talked about the backlog for plates. LTO is asking for more money, I'm guessing, right? Yes. Honestly, I posted that and I was like, seriously? Because I cannot understand how they even have the audacity to ask. That was already budgeted and paid for. So it's the same with the stickers. We paid for the stickers and we never got them. And for them to now do the same thing with the plates, we paid for these plates already. Okay, they've been given a budget. It's not like they didn't have it. They just squandered it somehow. And they can argue all they like, but the fact that it's not there allocated to these plates and they're asking for new money for an old thing that's already been paid for, I find it's just ridiculous. I mean, I just really honestly cannot understand what's going on here. It's the most basic thing on planet Earth. When you think about it, this is something that prisoners used to make. Why is it so complicated? I mean, if this was the most basic task that they could give prisoners before, and now you've got an entire agency with budget, you can't do it, and that's pretty much all you do. I mean, LTO is specific, right? Registration, and there's a land transportation licensing registration, and you can't do the registration. That's 50% of your job. Yeah, I can't, and I'm gonna stop now because I might say something I might regret. Hey, Lord Jun, long time, man. Maybe we should ask manufacturers to provide plate numbers for every new car and register. You know what, Lord Jun, I would agree with you in that regard, because somehow when you give it to the private sector, it ends up more efficient. And that's been the case for so many things. But the only thing I have against your suggestion is, if we do keep doing this, and we do this a lot, somehow it makes the agencies redundant. So, okay, we'll do it privately, but why are we paying you? You can't have it both ways. You can't keep passing these things off to the private sector, but keep getting the budget for it. We saw a lot of this happen with during COVID, with vaccines and PPEs and masks and stuff like that, where government agencies and hospitals were getting the budget, but they were relying on the private sector to donate as well. And then we saw a lot of kalokohans happening there as well. Won't get into that anymore, but you know what I'm talking about. So if you want to go privatized, let's go privatize, but we need to abolish these agencies already, because I think we all understand what I'm talking about. You can't get paid for something that you're passing on to the private sector, but they do it a lot. So that's the only thing I have against it. But other than that, I think there is a natural incentive to be efficient. The only thing I would be concerned about is you still need some independent body that overlooks it to make sure that nobody's doing it for their own agenda. But I can't see why the manufacturers would really care. I mean, they would just, if it was something that they had to do to get the sale done, I'm sure they'd be able to find a better way to do it than the agency right now. So JC says super obvious. What was that? Okay. HPC versus, okay, super obvious and matinding. What? How?
Extreme need.
Extreme need. There you go. And then this HPG and versus LT. This thing keeps coming up over and over again. This thing about sirens and blinkers. I don't know why they make it so difficult. Just get the people who are illegally using them. Don't tackle the four-wheel drives that have fog lamps and stuff like that, unless of course they leave them on, right? If you leave them on, especially the ones rear facing, that's different. But they're going after people with like aftermarket fog lamps and stuff like that. That's not what the law is about. The law is about the wang-wangs. You're not supposed to put a siren or a wang-wang in your vehicle with flashing lights, okay? The blue and red especially. You're not supposed to do that. It's basic. I don't care who you are, except the president, the vice president, and it is Secretary of Defense, I believe, are the only ones, or Chief of the Armed Forces, are the only ones allowed to use that. I think they extended also the Senate president, but that's it. There's only like a handful of people in the country that are allowed to use it that are not emergency vehicles. So if you're not one of those 5 people or so, you should just be impounded. I don't care how nice your car is, you should just be impounded. Having said that, can we just stick to the people who are using the wang-wangs illegally and just leave the people like the four-wheel drive community alone? They're not harming anybody, but they go for low-hanging fruit. I don't know if they do this deliberately or not, but they read a memorandum or a work order or a job order or whatever, and they just interpret it for the easiest and low-hanging fruit. They know what they have to do. The siren thing is about getting the wang-wangs, but they'll go, right, but baka may powerful people dyan. So let's just go after the four-wheel drives, because these are the peace-loving communities that just are going out to enjoy nature and stuff like that, and they won't complain as much. But if they get one of those flashy SUVs and luxury cars in the convoy, they might get preempted with somebody powerful there. It's really, you know what, any president that could just reverse this completely and break this culture once and for all, I think that would already be a legacy enough. I know Pinoy did it in the beginning, but it's back. So if somebody needs to come out and just smash them once and for all, I don't understand why we tolerate this crap. If you want to make your 4x4 poggy, as long as you're not violating any laws, leave it be. Just leave it be. It's not harming anyone. Again, if you leave your lights on, like some of them have their fog lamps facing in the back and they leave it on, well, then act accordingly, right? You get a video of it, send it to the LTO, send them a fine, take it off, have it confiscated, whatever. But if it's just there for off-road use and they're not using it on the road, just let them be. These issues are redundant, no concrete solutions up until now. Yeah, it's really, and it's simple, right? It's just they're scared. It comes down to that. Nagpasikat ang HPG, pati fog lamps, hinuhuli nila. They don't know the difference in fog lamps and blinkers. It gets me every time because it's not the first time. We go through a cycle of these. I don't know if it's every 3 years or 2 years or whatever. The HPG come out with their whole raid thing. They start raiding cars with bike racks on them and roof racks on them. Roof racks, like to put your luggage and stuff like that. Oh, may permit ka ba dyan? For what? For the roof rack? Yes, kailangan i-register yan sa LTO. You're like, oh my God, it's so basic and so simple. Again, I understand the need for it, but you see how their focus is always for the lowest hanging fruit. Pick on the private motorist that's actually law-abiding, that just makes a small mistake or a harmless one, and that's the one they come down on really hard. Why? Because it's easy. And why? Because the ones that they're actually supposed to do it for, they're too scared to touch. Are electrical vehicles China brand good? I wouldn't broadly say yes or no because I think there are good Chinese cars and bad Chinese cars. Um, the more reputable ones, I think, would be fine because they also know how to make it for they make it for other brands too, right? So they have the know-how. What I do have reservations with when it comes to Chinese brands is depending on the brand itself, what they have to lose with their name, etc. They don't have a lot of equity in their brand in the country. They tend to cut a lot of corners, and the corners you don't see in safety. But if you're going with a excuse me, reputable one, they do have the know-how to build good cars. So you've got the place like MG. They're built in China. They're built under SAIC. But they have a brand to protect. They have a global brand to protect. MG. Geely is also the same. I find the same with them. Who else would I put in that bracket? GAC seems to do a good job. I don't know if they have electric cars or so, but they have a good brand as well. But the point I'm trying to make is just don't necessarily say because China is bad, because there are good brands that come out of China and there are very bad brands that come out of China. So you can pick the ones that have a little bit more investment in their brand. That's usually what I like to see. They got some skin in the game. So if they screw you, they lose a lot more than you do. So that's why I went and bought an MG because I like the fact that they are being run by the Comin car company here, and they've run brands like Volvo, Chevrolet, and they know how to build a brand and they know how to take care of people. So that's why I'm there, and that is essentially a Chinese car. Electric bike registration, MMDA impounding e-bikes, even if the classification says it doesn't need a license. Really? Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know exactly what's meant by this, John. I mean, it is a gray area and a problem because technically you don't need it, but then also technically there are certain roads you can't be on. So it does get a little tricky. And I've been screaming for clarity for a long time now because I don't think I know what you mean. And I get very annoyed too with the electric bikes that hog the road on EDSA and other roads like that, where they're just so slow and they're unsafe and they can't keep up with traffic. They should be off the road or not allowed on those roads. Having said that, there's an argument to be made that, well, if bikes are allowed on EDSA, why not e-bikes? I get it. There's a good argument there too. You should allow e-bikes, but we're talking about the two-wheeled e-bikes with it doesn't have to have a pedal as long as it's an e-bike, like a bicycle that has an electric motor. I think it should be treated like a bicycle. It should be allowed everywhere a bicycle is allowed. Then you draw the line where you have a three-wheeled, electric-powered, that's a tricycle. That should follow all the same rules as a tricycle does. So in that regard, if they're going to be on public roads and they're three-wheelers and they go over a certain speed, then I think they should require a license and registration. So much to fix here because it's not as simple as saying, well, ban all e-bikes. And I know that there are some really annoying ones and there's a good case to be able to say that, but there are some also really good uses for e-bikes. We want to promote greener technology, something with less pollution, etc. And we want to be able to decongest Manila. But you got to put these people in their place because if you don't, they're just going to go wherever they want. And then they're going to create this friction on the road between the four-wheel and two-wheel vehicles. And then the LTO or these agencies are going to be forced to make a very drastic decision. And that drastic decision is usually bawal. Find a way. Each one has its place, even the e-scooters. Now, the e-scooters, I think, have tremendous potential. But again, they're not being put in their place. They're not the framework for it of where you're allowed to use them, how you're allowed to use them is not clear. So people would use them more if they knew how and the benefits that they got from it. In Mega World yesterday, they were doing the EV charging stations, and they were claiming, of course, they were the first to do the charging stations for e-bikes and e-scooters. Obviously, cars was done by SM first, but the e-scooters and e-bikes. This is something that I could see really growing if you had free charging stations in malls like they're starting now to bring your scooter, and you could park your scooter safely and you weren't harassed by guards. But this is the problem, right? You ride your scooter, and in some areas it's okay, and then in some areas like, oy, bawal yan. What do you mean bawal? Basta bawal. Are you allowed on the footpath or are you not allowed on the footpath? Make it clear. Because I agree, you got to segregate them. These scooters can go really, really fast too. So you don't want them just mixing within pedestrians as well. But we also have a tendency to say, well, if one person gets hurt, bawal na. Well, people also need to take personal accountability for things, right? So we could have, let's say, mixed lanes where, you could have mixed pedestrians and mixed or not. But whatever it is, just make it clear. That's all. It's about predictability. People need to be able to plan. And nobody wants to invest in anything if they don't know and they're not assured that that's going to be there tomorrow or they're going to be allowed to use it. This is my whole thing about the e-bikes. Just give them proper regulations. And then you won't have issues like the MMDA impounding them, whether they have registration or not. I agree, because I have an e-scooter, the big ones, the ones you sit on. And I also don't know what classification that's under, because I've seen it. What happened there? We lost our background. Okay. Give me a second. There you go. Just so you know, we are live. And that's a real background. So, okay, I guess I kind of answered that there. Do 49 cc's? I don't know, Lorjan. I mean, if it's an internal combustion engine, yes, it should be. But again, these things are getting very, very vague. So I hope that they do come up with some clarity, because I would like to see it incentivized, because it is another form of transport that I think is accessible, more inclusive than cars. And you'd see a whole new class of commuter riding on those things. But if you don't put them in their place, it's going to be just chaos and anarchy out there. Whew. Whew. I feel like I've said a mouthful. Okay, I think we have time for one more X, and then we can go straight into the raffle. Peter James, I was apprehended last Wednesday because my plate entered 5. I was in Makati. I heard in the news there's no official rules for coding yet. Is that legal? Well, Cecile, you are correct, except in the Republic of Makati, which is an autonomous region. Sorry, I don't want to make light of it, but they go by their own rules here. And that also frustrates a lot of people, because you read what is supposed to be a national law, and then later on they're like, we don't follow that, we have our local ordinance. It's another thing about consistency. I can kind of understand what Makati mean, because there are a financial district, a central business district, so they're a little bit more congested than others. And a lot of the streets in Makati are still private property. So weird, no? But there are certain issues around that. But having said that, you got to be more uniform and consistent, because it is impossible to keep up with the ever-changing rules that apply in different cities. And here's the irony of it all. It's called UVV something, right? That's coding. And that stands for the Unified Volume Vehicle Reduction Program. There you go, UVVRP. UVVRP, what's the first word? Unified. What's unified about it? There's nothing unified about our coding system, because every city has their own interpretation of it. It's like versions of CC. Every freaking area has their own timpla for that. Well, they do it with coding too, and it's getting freaking annoying. So yeah, my frustration too, I share it with you. But at the moment, until somebody takes them to Supreme Court and gets a decision, we just gotta abide by it, because you're not gonna win this argument on the side of the road, or when you go down there to the MAPSA office later, or MAPSA is the guys from Makati. You're just not. So this is where it gets very, very frustrating. Same thing with the licenses. I mean, I've argued for the last 15 or 20 years, publicly argued nonstop about the thing about the licenses, because they're not allowed to take them. But they're saying, no, we have an ordinance that says we can take them. Yes, but you're writing a rule that's not constitutional, because you can only be, as a licensing body, only the licensing body can take away your license, and still with due process. So how can you give an agency that never issued you your driver's license, how do they have the authority to remove it from you, even confiscate it? They don't, right? Only the embassy, or only the embassy or DFA can take your passport, right? So same thing. The LTO are the only ones who have the authority, because they're the only ones who gave it to you. But we break that rule all the time. Because why? Because we didn't have a centralized system where people could get their fines without having something to hold as ransom. That's why they hold your license. Now we have a situation where we have the non-contact apprehension programs, right? The NCAPs. And this has caused another new problem because while it's in theory, it's supposed to work better, and I support the idea of a non-contact violation program because it removes the human element. Excuse me. It takes away the human element. And when you remove that human element out of it, you reduce corruption. But having said that, the system has to be very smart, and it's not terribly smart at the moment. There are too many loopholes. There are people complaining about getting like 250,000 pesos worth of fines because they just didn't know. They didn't know because there was no proper system to get those violations out to them. So 3 years later, we're seeing people register their cars because they bought it new, and then 3 years is the registration period. When they go to register it again, all of a sudden they're told, no, you can't until you pay these fines. And that could have been your driver, could have been your friend, could have been anyone. And how are you going to get a hold of them 3 years later? You can't. That's not fair. What I would like to see is it has to work hand in hand with a very updated database. So if you have a car, what they should work on first is your registration has to be linked to a valid address, right? It has to be start from scratch, valid address and a valid phone number and or email or both, right? So have that, because what we want to achieve here is this. If you go through a red light and it gets your number plate, it automatically sends you an SMS and says your car. We do it with credit cards, we do it with Gcash, we do it with all these other payment systems. Why can't we do it with this? We can, but they don't want to. So it needs to have a very established database so that all your fines go straight to your phone. That way, there's no excuse. Then you can argue later on, well, because people can say, I never got it. Well, you didn't update your phone number. But from here, this point on, make sure that when you own a car, part of your responsibility is to have a valid and current address and a valid and current email and phone number. Then that's that. If you say that you didn't get the message, that's your fault. That's not anymore. But as it is now, do you see, we don't have that system. So cars are registered to businesses, they're registered to a law or somewhere, whatever, and there's no phone numbers attached. So this is why these fines build up. Non-contact makes it problematic for owners to store their cars registered. You see, that's another problem Lord Jun brings up. You need, and I know there's a responsibility for owners to make sure that it's updated, but we don't have a system that's very friendly to that. So let's create a system that's friendly, just like you cannot open a bank account without a valid phone number attached to it now, because you need an OTP, right? So that works. That system works perfectly. Gcash is the same. You need that OTP, or you need that verified phone number. It won't let you transact without it. And look how smoothly those work. So let's just incorporate the same system into our non-contact violations, and then I'll have no problem. Because there, you can then immediately contest. Because there are some times that they get it wrong. As much as their intentions are good, they do get it wrong sometimes. And some of the times they get it wrong. There's a place in Manila with a double left. I don't know exactly what street, but a lot of people keep commenting about that there should be a straight and a left. But they make it a double left, so the people who go straight get fined and they don't know about it, right? When that's just against national road rules. It's something silly that they did there. So permissive straight, mandatory left on one side, but they don't, and then people get fined. You need to have an area where you can get your SMS, or you need to have a system where you can get your SMS and you can protest straight away and then send your evidence straight away. Because 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the track, you're not going to keep that. You're not going to know that. You're just going to get screwed. So there, that's that. Okay, we got 5 minutes. That's it. We really got to wrap this up next. Okay, so now it's everybody's favorite time. It is wrap time! Delicious. everybody. This portion, Tito Clock, is proudly brought to you by Modalite, Petron, Auto Kit, Ogawa, Lala Move, Malayan Insurance, and Skinny Bay. All right. Thank you very much to all of our supporters who have been there supporting us. And, of course, our raffle section and the good guys from Lala Move who always help us out delivering all these prizes. Speaking of which, do we have that last winner's prize? And you want to flash that up? We should get in the habit of doing that, like flash the last winners up just so everybody sees what they, Because, yeah, sometimes we post them, but we should really do it every time on this raffle section. But, okay, we're just on the phone. Okay.
Yeah, but we already posted on this one.
Oh, we did? We posted in the stories. But there's a graphic over my thing. I can't see. I got raffle time. Just watch the them. Yeah, I have a graphic box. Yeah. And so this, why? There you go. There you go. Look at these happy campers over here. Happy campers. Okay, there you go. Thanks. And raffle dog, are you ready? We got fed in advance. I got paid in advance. So check it out, Rocket. We're going to draw 5 winners of these, 4 winners of 5,000 each. 4 winners, 5,000 each. This is so cool. Rocket, if you want to go, the stuff you can get through Value, you can get so much over there. Okay, ready? It's Rocket time. He's there. Here it is. Come on, Rocket. Rocket has a friend soon. Maybe one day his friend will make a cameo. He just got a cat, so but he's still a little shy. They still just met, so in the meantime, he'll still be Rocket. But one day, Rocket will invite his friend. He'll become Queer Rocket, and Queer Rocket will have somebody to bully and somebody to teach the ropes to help push the button, because you know how hard it is to push the button. Ready? Good job, Rocket. Oh, the Brian Powers cats. It's actually Cris. Was this a Free Plug Friday before? This was a Free Plug Friday person, and now we buy from them regularly because Rocket likes it. And that's the way we want to do Free Plug Friday. What's that? All the winners. Okay, guys, you have 24 hours to claim your prize. Send a message to Rocket on his IG, v.rocket.launcher, and give him a wave, give him a like, give him a share or whatever. You know what? Make his reels pop. Because every time I ask Rocket, how's your day been, Rocket, he goes, rough. I said, I get you, buddy. I feel you. He's a joke. Rough. Oh gosh. Okay, that's my signal. That's my signal to tune out of here, because the Tita jokes are going to start getting worse and worse. So what's that? Oh yeah, I'm getting free licks here. So thank you very much, everybody who joined us here for Tita Clock. Rocket and I and the rest of the team X, Y, and Z will be back again next Friday for the same old. We got more goodies to give away, and of course, all of your favorite Tita Clock segments. So then, until then, should I say, bye, take care, stay safe.
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile, while everybody else around us is surfing about. Can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop and talk a while. Let's stop